Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Fightday Fanboy. If you enjoy the show, do us a favour, like, subscribe, do whatever you can to help us dominate these algorithms, alright? Alright, thanks guys, enjoy the show. The case champion, and it goes the distance. It goes the distance.
Can I start by saying just congratulations, eh? Just
Thank
goes
you,
to
brother.
show the ideology that miracles do happen.
You know what's fucked is the ideology behind the whole theory. It didn't check out because at the end of the day,
Divine intervention's what it's called.
it didn't even happen how I thought it would happen. Ortega just dominated him and just became, I don't know, what the fuck was that?
I don't know, bro. In my opinion, it's I just did not see it go on the distance, to be honest. I just didn't see it go on the distance. But now when you think about how the fight went down and everything about it, it was always going to go the distance, but no one saw it go that way.
In my head, I imagined it as like zombie as like a turning Ortega into a fucking bloody mess. That's what I expected. And like Ortega just lasting. Like the doctor.
100%.
That's just, yeah. Like, to me, that's what made sense in my mind. But for Ortega to come back, after a 2-year layoff and be that good, like, most people think after a 2-year layoff, it's questionable. It's like, oh, he hasn't been in for a while. It's like the whole.
Well, that's it. And his last fight against Holloway, everyone's opinion on Ortega after that fight is that if you want to keep that fight standing for into championship rounds, etc. Ortega's zombie's just going to piece you up. He really needed to get the takedowns and get the submissions. That was what everyone's opinion was, yeah. And that's why I thought it's either going to be a sub or a KO. He can't keep standing because Holloway proved that he's gonna wilt it towards the end of the fight, but he actually did it the whole fight. So hats off to Ortega and hats off to you, and there'll be a case on the way soon. So and again, miracles do happen.
We're gonna have to get a case of drink rest for this one. So
yeah.
Shout out to our boy Tai Tuivasa fighting on the weekend. If you're in Western Sydney listening to this show, if you're one of our 5 subscribers at the moment, go to Harry's Liquor Store in Western Sydney. Go fucking pick it up and yeah. Way to downplay my own fucking show. Jesus Christ.
That's all right. That's all right.
What was I going to say? So breaking news, right? I waited till I actually got in this.
This is what you've been excited to tell me, yeah?
This is what I've been excited to tell you. So as of 22 minutes ago, Marlon Chito Vera and Jose Aldo have verbally agreed to a fight.
Are you serious?
Dude, it's fucking...
Oh my God, what is happening in the world?
Like, people are saying, like, O'Malley's getting too much quick competition, and Marlon just beats O'Malley, and now he's fucking fighting, like, what, number fucking 3? Number 2?
But arguably the best featherweight of all time. Sorry, bantamweight.
But my question was anyone going to get that fight? Was O'Malley going to get that fight if he won? Was O'Malley going to get Aldo if he won? Because Chito was
interesting. That is very interesting.
It's ridiculous. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, Chito Vera is good, but is he that good? I don't know.
If you want to know my opinion, he's not that good. I still am I'm still one of those guys that's on the O'Malley bandwagon. Like, I think O'Malley's good what it takes to be a champion. I think he will be a champion. And I honestly believe that, the collapsed foot and everything, it was, hats off to Chito. He still won the fight, and that's the game. That's the fight game. And if something like that happens, but I still believe it was just bad luck on O'Malley's behalf, and O'Malley's still probably the better fighter in a rematch.
Oh, maybe. But that never got shown.
That's Pierre's opinion.
The thing is, it was like a minute in. You know what I mean? It was like a minute in that peroneal nerve or whatever the fuck it was collapsed. So it's like, we didn't even get to see a minute of that fight really properly. Like, what? It was pretty much almost one of the first kicks he landed in the fight. So.
Yeah.
Big news. But anyway, let's get back onto on topic.
That's crazy.
Let's get back onto this awesome PlayStation screensaver I have on my TV here.
It's amazing.
That's fucking UFC 254.
I can't believe you made it yourself.
Yeah, I made it all myself. Photoshop. I tried to get a few pimples off fucking Gaethje's chin. You know, he usually looks a bit more
Gaethje looks real rugged in that.
He looks fantastic, doesn't he?
He does.
Like,
he looks like he's ready to throw 4 leg kicks.
The good thing about it is Khabib's looking at him and he's fucking Khabib's looking at him and fucking not even acknowledging him.
Khabib's smelling Whitaker's dandruff.
I like this dandruff. I like this dandruff.
This is number one bullshit. I smashed this guy.
I smashed this guy. Yeah, you ever played Tekken?
Mm-hmm.
You know how there's
back
Jin
in the day.
You know how there's Jin and there's Devil Jin?
Can't remember that, but
so there's a Jin character and then there's a Devil Jin. I truly believe that Khabib is a Khabib and then there's a Devil Khabib and that's Kamzat.
Yeah,
he's like Khabib, but he's scarier with like bigger ears and like fucking. He's freaky.
Yeah,
dude, that guy sat next to Dana White.
Mm-hmm. I saw that. I didn't. When Jimmy Crute jumped the fence on the last card after he got the KO, he jumped the fence and goes over to Dana, and I can't remember what he said. What he says, a bonus or whatever.
Yeah, he said bonus, and Dana was like, "Yeah, it was fucking good one."
And I thought, yeah, it was a good one. And I saw that there was someone sitting next to Dana, but then I think you called me on the weekend. You're like, did you see fucking Kamzat sit there? And then you see all the memes that just went on the internet straight after, and it was the Tinder one. It's a match, and it was Dana and Kamzat.
Seriously, who's ever got to do that? There's not many people that
no
get to do that. And maybe the fact because it's an empty arena as well, like you get to notice it more. I mean, there probably has been fighters who've sat next to him and stuff, but that's a pretty big fucking thing for him to just be able to do that.
I don't know how the complete sort of layout of how it goes, like with fighters and contracts and organizing fights. I do understand it to an extent, but like, you know, with the way Kamzat's career is going, it's kind of like, you know, it does appear that he's getting everything that he wants, and he's breaking the records by getting the 9-day turnaround in a fight, and then he gets his opponents that he wants, even though no one wants to fight him. He's struggling at the moment, but he does seem like he is, you know, Dana's little fucking love child.
It seems to me like Dana knew about him for a while. Like just by the way it's all like played out really quickly, one fight turnaround, you know, like just all that shit.
Yeah. Do you understand what I mean, though? Like, he's just getting everything. He's just getting all the light, and he's getting now it's gotten to the point where they can't give him easy opponents anymore because of what he's doing to the current ones he's matched up against. So he's got to fight a top 10 person next. But I don't know.
Even Chiesa is turning down that fight.
Yeah. The only one that's played it smart has been Darren Till, and I'll tell you why. It's because Darren Till already has a fight booked.
Yeah.
So,
he's fucking serious.
And he knows the business, and he knows that he's fighting Jack Manson. He knows that. So when he calls out, you know, Chimaev on Twitter, and he calls him out on Instagram, and he's really being funny and trolling about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't make him look like a pussy. He's the only middleweight that's not looking like a pussy because everyone else is ducking him.
That's true.
And I mean, he might have to fight him if Chimaev doesn't have a fight between now and when Darren Till's finished Hermanson. They might match up, and I mean, Darren Till's got to go back up his word. He's got to fight him. But Darren Till also knows that if he does finish Hermanson in a stylish fashion, he will get the next title shot.
Yeah.
He's played it really smart.
He's played it really smart, and then the way it works.
And he's the only middleweight that doesn't look like he's ducking him.
Exactly, and I don't think he's
winner of the week is Darren Till.
Yeah, he's a fucking
Darren
genius.
Till wins every week. He wins every week.
He wins. He's the smartest marketer in the UFC to date right now. With the Raw Dog brand just popping up out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like, it's fucking nuts.
100%.
But yeah, we'll see what happens with Kamzat or whatever. But I think at the end of the day, like, there's a few people have turned it down. I think one person verbally agreed. They didn't say who it was. Dana didn't specify, but I think the people were sort of hinting at like Maya was the guy who didn't turn it down. So if they can make something with Maya eventually, we'll see how that goes.
Okay, I heard otherwise, but yeah.
Did you hear that Maya turned it down?
That's what I thought I heard, but
because I heard Wonder Boy definitely turned it down. Fuck, it's all happening so quick. Oh,
yeah,
Weidman said he'd do it in January. So
yeah, okay.
But I don't know. But that's just
a lot of these top 10 fighters, and you know, you gotta agree with them. You know, in the sense of like the risk versus the reward isn't worth it because they're fighting an unranked opponent, and if they lose, they will do a significant jump down the rankings, and he'll do a significant jump up. You know, and if they do beat him, it doesn't necessarily mean anything. They're not really moving anywhere as far as the rankings go.
I agree with you on one part of that. The other part is that who's more relevant right now? Is it Khamzat or is it fucking Michael Chiesa?
Well, that's exactly right. He's very relevant. So
yeah, exactly. So if Michael Chiesa was to go out and fucking pump Khamzat and he wasn't who we thought he was, it's a bit of a big deal. You know what I mean? In a way as well. So, and I think a lot of fighters, if fighters can see that and they're smart enough to see that and acknowledge that, I think it is true that they're probably scared of fucking this guy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No, I agree.
Anyway, fuck devil fucking Khabib. Let's talk about regular Khabib. So 254.
How exciting! I actually think it's probably one of the most easy fights to break down. I know you find that funny, but I reckon it's a stupidly easy fight to break down. Khabib versus Gaethje.
All right, okay, let's save that. Let's do traditional order.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got a few fights we can talk about. We can talk about every fight if you want to, really. But more from what I'm concerned with is obviously the two of us Struve fight, the Cannonier.
Amazing fight.
Yeah. The Volkov Harris fight, the Cannonier Whitaker fight, and the Gaethje Khabib. All right. So
they're the four we're going to talk about.
Let's go into our because I know the wound's still there, the Drink West wound's still there. So we'll talk about two of us Struve first.
Yeah.
Just give me your first thoughts on that fight.
Fucking a fight that I never saw coming. I actually thought they'd both been not released, but they're both on losing streaks. Well, Struve lost his last, but Tyres lost his last 3 as far as I can remember.
Yeah,
but they just haven't fought in a while, and they just sort of disappeared. So I wouldn't have been surprised if they both got released because they're both, you know, I know Struve's on the back end of retirement, and Ty's not winning. And then to put them both together, I mean, marketability wise, they're both huge names. It's a big fight. Exactly. It's just a fight. My first opinion was just wow. Like I just never saw it coming. I never saw that matchup, and it's a crazy matchup.
Like,
and it can go many different ways, you know.
Yeah, when you've got like all those bad situations happening, 2 people on losing streaks, 2 people with some sort of a big name, and you've also got a need for international talent on Fight Island, it's the perfect scenario. It's the matchmaker's heaven in a way because it's both of their last chance in a way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, in my opinion,
it is really the loser of this fight ain't gonna look good.
No, it's gonna be bad, and I don't know. I sort of, this reminds me, and like I know it's pretty stereotypical to sort of say this, but it kind of reminds me of the Hunt Struve fight where you had like Struve obviously you got a brawler who comes out quick, an Aussie brawler who comes out quick, and you got a guy who tries to keep his sort of distance.
Use his length.
Use all of his fucking ridiculous. He's got this ridiculous attributes, and he just uses it to his advantage. That's what he is.
100%.
He's going to get knocked out.
He can stand there, standing up, and he can knee Tuivasa in the head.
He's going to get
standing. You know what I mean?
Have you seen? Yeah.
He's so fucking. Do you know how I can't actually wait to see them both in the octagon standing next to each other, because I'm pretty sure Struve is like half a meter taller.
I know Struve's a beast. But you do sort of
What
look
is
at,
he set 7-1 or something?
yeah, I think he's bang on 7 foot. But he's
Yeah.
like the thing with him is like when he punches, he's not really, you can tell he's not a knockout puncher. You know
No.
what I mean? No. So he's
Hmm.
sort of just trying to keep his distance. Now with
Hmm.
Ty, like Ty's still got it in to be pretty fucking, I think he's still got that sort of KO in him. And he got that KO
Hmm.
quick. And I think Struve being this far into his
He's.
career, he's just getting any fight he can. I think
Hmm.
Ty's going to do it. I think Ty's got more
So do
youth in
I.
him. He's got more hunger in him.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
he realizes that his career's got a lot more longevity to it than what Struve's does. I mean, Struve could probably go be an
Hmm.
actor and fucking
He's got
country.
attributes. Yeah.
He's got
He could.
attributes.
Yeah.
Whenever they need like a fucking, like how they used to have those like the skits where they'd have all the babies stacked on top of each other.
Yeah.
You could literally cast him without the babies. He's got like a 10-year-old face, man. It's not.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
But
No, I agree.
Ty's gonna get this done. Is it? What do you think?
Yeah,
KO.
I agree. I agree. I think Ty's going to come out hard and fast. I think you'll get it done inside one round. I think if it goes the second round, from what I've seen of Ty, he does. Obviously, he's a heavyweight, and it's a given. But heavyweights have cardio issues. But Ty has cardio issues.
Yeah.
Struve does come out at a lot slower pace, and he does move slow. He will pace himself more. I think if it goes into later rounds, Struve could get a takedown, could get a sub. Don't see him KOing Ty, but I agree with you. I think I think if Ty can get on the inside, it's going to be a round 1 KO.
Yeah. I don't quite understand why he's
Possibly in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, probably I think it's going to be a highlight reel KO. If it is a KO, it's going to be a highlight, much like the Mark Hunt one.
Yeah.
You saw that where Mark Hunt landed that hook because Struve was
And
just
he's
gassed
gonna.
out.
I just can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see that titty dance again, where he's like, you know the one.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be good for Australia, man. This card, I do, and a lot of people. And I think with this, what's interesting about this card, like what I was saying to you before, there's favorites, right? And then there's favorites, and then there's underdogs that are paying the least for a round 1 KO. So you're either going to get a favorite winning, or you're either going to get a distance fight, or you're going to get a round 1 KO fight, pretty much.
Yeah.
Except for the main fight, or maybe the main fight. Who fuck knows?
Can't wait to break that one down.
You're just waiting on that. You're fucking.
Yeah, no, I see it quite. I haven't checked the odds on that, but I would assume they would be close money.
What, on Ty and Struve?
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if Struve's an edged favorite.
$1.80 for Struve.
Is it $1.80? Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't understand
Put your money on Ty. Don't let the bookies rob you of the money, because they should be even.
There's so much good money to be won on this card. This is a fucking gold mine of a card.
Yeah.
This is.
Have you? Can you tell us what the round 1 KO is on Ty? It's probably if he's paying $2, it's probably like $2.80.
I think it's no. I think it's like $5.
Really? Okay.
I'll look at it right now.
Good.
Take a second.
That's good money, because I think the only way Ty wins that fight really is a round 1 KO. Yeah. Maybe round 2.
Dude, me too. Hold up.
Yeah.
I'll find it right now for you. It is. Here we go. Method around combo. Yeah, $5.50.
Yeah. Wow.
$5.50. That's pretty good
money. Put your money there, peoples. Put your money there.
Even around 2, if you want to get into that sort of specific of it, it's $8.50.
Yeah.
It's sort of like the zombie fight the other day. Like me and like. Okay, let's be honest here. I'm gonna break the fourth wall for you. I'm trying to act cool, calm, like I knew this was gonna be a decision. Nah. I literally put $50 on a round 1 KO for Zombie, and then $50 on a round 2 KO for Zombie, and I was just fucking jumping between those two, trying to figure out what it was.
And then when you got your Hail Mary, you got half your money back in form of a case.
Literally, that's literally what happened.
Smart investing.
Yeah, but I lost a lot
Cover
before
all
that
your
as well.
tracks.
I lost a lot
Yeah.
before that as well. All right, fucking, let's get into what were we gonna talk about next? Fuck, man, I'm
Two
all
other
over the
fights.
place.
So
Oh yes,
Whittaker
no,
Cannonier.
we got wait real quickly before this. Ion Kutalaba, Magomed Ankalov. Dude.
100% Q.
100%.
100%, yeah.
What is wrong with dude? Uncle is paying he's paying something ridiculous for a first round KO, like $1.30 or something stupid.
Really?
Yeah, dude,
I don't
$1.30.
go back and rewatch that first fight. I think, how do you pronounce his name? Ian Kutabala.
Kutalaba.
Kutalaba. You go back and watch that first fight. He was always in it. I don't know what was going on, and it's such a strange phenomenon watching that fight. But it was like he was just playing with him. Like, he was getting hit, don't get me wrong, and the ref stopped it because he thought he was fucking punch drunk standing up. Didn't think he was with it standing up, but he was in that fight the whole time, and he was landing just as many bombs as, his opponent.
Well, Uncle
Magomed,
he landed three straight head kicks.
Yeah, he did.
And
but they're also checked, weren't they?
Yeah, they were sort of checked. Yeah, it was sort of blocked the first couple, but it was just like, I don't know, how many head kicks do you let in before you get knocked out for real?
Kutabala 100% is going to win that fight.
That is
I'll put a case on that one.
You'll put a case on that.
I'll put a case.
Oh my God.
Wins the second fight.
2-0 next week. It's a case. Fucking shake on it. There you go. Yeah, done. All right,
look, we don't know enough about the first fight to call the second, and honestly, he was in it. It was an unfair stoppage. That's why they're having the rematch. The UFC can be pretty hard on fights when they don't think it's deserving of a rematch. I think, going back to what we were talking about before, I think O'Malley and Chito deserve the rematch. But no, like, the UFC decided, no, foot collapse, Chito won. That's fair. They rematched this one for some reason. Could have just gone down as a KO, and Magomed could have moved up, but they're doing the rematch.
In my opinion, it's good for Ty, because Ty doesn't really have to get the performance of the night bonus or the 50K, because the amount of money that just in Drink West cases alone that'll be sent to my house is enough to sort of pay his sort of mortgage off. That's just what it is. But we'll see. We'll come to that one later. But yeah. All right. Whittaker Cannonier. No. Volkov Harris.
Very interesting.
This is another one I was talking to you about, and it seems very similar to, not similar to Ty Struve, but it's similar in the sense of, like, what I was saying with, like, someone who can definitely get a finish in the first round by KO, and then someone who's also a very good distance striker. So while it's a bit more reasonable in general, and these two are both definitely more skilled than, not in the mean way, than Struve and Tuivasa, in the sense of, like, 100%. Overall,
they're ranked. They're both ranked. And the rankings are there for a reason.
Yes.
So
yeah,
you don't have to feel bad about saying it, but they're currently ranked.
Yeah. Well,
and at a point in their careers, both Ty and Struve were both ranked.
Yeah, exactly. But not only that, overall they're just more complete.
Yeah.
More complete. So I don't. It's a bit more up for, in my opinion, like, it's a bit more up for sort of debate, because you've got two people with more complete sets of skills, and yeah, it really gets to a point where you're thinking, okay, well, Volkov could stop and KO Walt Harris in round one with a counter strike very easily, or more easily than Struve could. So for me, in my opinion, overall, not getting too deep into it, I think Walt Harris, I mean, dude, he almost finished the fight against Overeem that quickly. I think he can do that against Volkov.
Mm-hmm.
Volkov's been knocked out. We've seen that happen. And Walt Harris has, if not apart from Derek Lewis, some of the best power in the division. And Ngannou. I think Walt Harris is going to get the finish in round one. I think it's going to be like the Overeem fight, but Overeem isn't going to be able to get up the same sort of way. Volkov isn't going to be able to get up the same sort of way. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. That's my prediction as well, so we can agree on that one.
Fuck, we're agreeing on everything.
No, we're 2 from 3. I think Iron Cutabler wins.
Oh yeah, but that's that
Not
fight
on the
is
main card, but
that fight is one of those things that are going to look back in history, and people are going to be like, how not to ref a fight and how not to fight a fight. It's going to be just one of those phenomenons, Fucking, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, no. Look, Volkov's very good. Volkov's a very good striker. Really good striker. He doesn't have, as far as heavyweights go, he doesn't have the power in his hands that someone like you said, like Ngannou, Walt Harris, Derek Lewis has. But he's very good. He's very good at keeping his distance. He's very good at not getting hit. He showed that against Greg Hart. Like he showed that against Greg Hart. He even showed that in the Derek Lewis fight. Derek Lewis did get that lucky KO with a couple of seconds left, which put him out. But he is very good. I think Walt Harris is gonna have some problems getting close to him, getting in, connecting on him.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, I think Walt Harris gets it done. Again, with heavyweights, if it goes longer, it's probably going to favour Volkov because he'll just pick him apart. Whereas Walt Harris is going to come in hard. He's going to come in. He's a power hitter. He's going to look to put him out in a round. I agree with you. I think he can get it done. But if it does go into the later rounds, you're looking at it to favour Volkov more. I think he can push the pace a little bit better in the later rounds. You saw that with the Overeem fight. Walt Harris just sort of gave up halfway through the second round.
Yeah,
he was looking great in the first round, and he almost put Overeem away. But Overeem's a veteran of the game, and he's been in those tough positions before, and he could get himself out of it.
Walt Harris, I agree. Walt Harris was on the media live stream, which it's pretty. I think it's still live now. So thank fuck we're not doing this live because who the fuck wants to listen to us when fucking actual fighters are talking? One thing that Walt Harris said, and he said 2 things. So he pretty much said, I didn't feel like myself in that fight, in the Overeem fight. And then he also said,
we all know as well he's been through a lot of trauma.
Well,
his daughter.
That's next level.
Not his daughter. His sister.
No, his daughter.
His daughter.
It was his daughter.
I was going to say his sister's daughter, but no, his daughter.
No, yeah, that's a real rough situation. And he got in there quick, and everyone was saying like, "Oh, is it too quick? Is it too quick?" And then it just depends on the fighter because some people take it as a distraction, and some people enjoy the distraction, and some people can't think about anything else, and it's like fucking,
Some people can come out angrier, and maybe it can work to an advantage.
And who the fuck knows how to process it, first of all. But he also said people underrate my wrestling. I have a double leg in my arsenal, and I'm like, fuck, man, please don't. You're such a great striker, like, and you're a good wrestler, but like, wrestling's sort of, it's a bit of a, I don't know. I think it's a cop out to like the path to victory in the fight.
Mm-hmm.
What then again?
For heavyweights, yeah.
For heavyweights and someone with such explosive power and good sort of range with it as well.
Heavyweights need to hit each other. Yeah, that's where the excitement in a heavyweight bout is. Heavyweights need to put each other out in the first round. That's why you watch heavyweights. That's just business.
Die for our enjoyment.
You want to watch a technical 5-round fight? Go watch the flyweights.
Yeah. Well, he might be fucking like Cain Velasquez. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's, because of that sort of mentality with a lot of the heavyweights, you sort of tend to see like a lower sort of skill set and like more victory just based on power. But if one person's like completely destroying that sort of like thing about heavyweights, that stereotype of heavyweights, it's Curtis Blades. Like Curtis Blades literally going in and dominating them. Literally, same as Cormier, same with Cormier as well. And at the end of the day, like what Walt Harris mentioned Curtis Blades, and he's like, yeah, I want to sort of be a bit more like Curtis Blades. That's what he was virtually saying.
Oh yeah, please don't.
Oh.
Please don't.
And Curtis Blades doesn't care, man. He's just gonna try and breeze that title. Like, the last fight, dude. Like the last fight he had. Who was that against? Curtis Blades' last fight.
Volkov.
Yeah. Exactly.
Five rounds of laying on top of Volkov and not doing anything.
But before the fight, when he was doing the media, he was like, "Yeah, I'm going to take him down and make it real boring. It's going to be real boring. Don't tune in."
Yeah, he called it. He called it. So he can't, he can't blame the audience you can't blame him for letting the audience down.
Yeah.
Because he already gave him premeditation of the fight.
Part of me likes that. Part of me gets like a happiness from seeing just wrestling being displayed in the octagon and everyone crying, like being like, knock him out.
From a true fan perspective, we enjoy it. I enjoyed watching the fight too.
Yeah.
And so don't get me wrong, because I enjoy the beauty of mixed martial arts, and I mean that was a beautiful display of wrestling in that fight, and Volkov couldn't do anything about it. He couldn't stop the takedown. He couldn't get his shots in. He couldn't scramble, and Curtis Blades held in there the whole time. It was beautiful to watch. But I guess for the fans that just want to see action, I can see why they think it's boring. And like I said before, when you watch a heavyweight fight, we're all secretly hoping for round one knockouts. That's what you want to watch when you watch a heavyweight fight,
100%.
because you know how hard they hit, and that's the exciting fact about it. But nevertheless, it was still an interesting fight to watch.
Yeah, 100%.
And it was a beautiful display of wrestling.
You know what? That's the one thing I'll give to Khabib though. Like, even though Khabib is like doing that sort of sniff the jockstrap style.
Yeah.
Even though he takes him
beautiful.
down. But even though he does it, he's still active. Like, he's still making transitions and then getting up and pumping them.
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of a beauty in Khabib's wrestling. A lot of people, especially heavyweights, if they know someone's tired, they're just going to sort of sit on them.
Mm-hmm.
You won't see that with Khabib and like a lot of wrestlers. That's what I like about that sort of style of it. So I'll give it to Khabib. The people who say Khabib is boring, they're not really fucking.
No,
I don't think they're really watching it. Yeah,
it's the same people that say Khabib's boring. I mean, Khabib's bringing in the numbers.
Yeah, dude.
The same people that say he's boring are watching him. So
yeah, he's the reason we have to watch this shit at 5 a.m.
I think he's gotten to the point now where he's going to be exciting to watch, regardless if he lays out a boring 5 rounds of wrestling, because he's undefeated to such a high level now that MMA has never seen before. People are just going to start to watch just because they want to see that person that can beat him.
Yeah.
People want to tune in to watch him lose. Yeah, because he's undefeated.
And a lot of fans are making narratives and excuses for how he can lose.
Even though people are still going to think it's boring, they're still going to watch.
Yeah. You know what I think Khabib did with it? Oh fuck! This episode, this whole episode has been Tangent City. We're just fucking going all over the place. It's 1 a.m. It's fucking with my mind. But
yeah.
So the one thing with Khabib is I think that LA Quinter fight actually secured his longevity selling to some of the true fans, because people saw that he was he wasn't really on that fight, and now people think like, could he just be shit? You know what I mean? Like, could he just be shit in this, or like, not shit? Oh, that was fuck. Not shit, but like, could he just be like in the stand-up department? Could he not be as decorated as someone like a Gaethje, or you know what I mean? But whereas like we don't know that, because he said like, and he even said he wanted to stretch it out to 5 rounds to do like some sort of amazing fight, but I just don't know. Anyway, back to before we get to Khabib, we got one more fucking shining star in the form of a Southern
I'm
Cross.
interested to see what your prediction is on Whittaker and Kennedy.
my transitions are terrible in this episode. I was thinking of doing a segue. I think I was thinking about just doing this one. There's no way I can go against Whittaker. There's no way I can go against Whittaker. And even if I wanted to go against Whittaker, I still couldn't in this fight. And I think a lot of people that are fucking really bigging up Cannonier, it's like, yeah, I understand. And he's a great fighter. He's top of the top. And I would have, I would have loved to see the Till and Cannonier fight. I think that provided more options for a more entertaining fight. I think Cannonier's good. Obviously, he's gone from heavyweight to light heavyweight to middleweight, which is pretty amazing. And he obviously he's where he's meant to be at middleweight. It's not like when Rumble Johnson went down and he got down to welterweight and he just looked terrible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he looks great at this weight, and at the end of the day,
he does.
He is good, and he's a big power hitter, and Whittaker's got to be careful of that. But this is a 3-round fight, and that's the confusing thing, I think, for Whittaker. That's the thing.
Whittaker's only been in his last 4 fights have been 5-rounders. I think for Whittaker's sake, that only works to his advantage.
Me too. A lot of people are saying it works to his disadvantage, and they were just saying that in the media live stream, and he was like, I don't know how he's like, I don't know how that would work to my disadvantage. You know, I've been through more of it. I've been through 5-round wars with Yoel Romero. Like,
I think, and this I've heard this in a lot of interviews and you know, a lot of different sources. A fighter's greatest fear is not jumping in the cage and punching on, not jumping in the cage and fighting. A fighter's greatest fear is exhaustion.
Yeah.
Is, am I going to make it without getting too exhausted? You know, because it's, you know, to a lot of people that have never fought before, it's very strenuous and it's very exhausting. I mean, you and I wrestle on the carpet for 2 minutes and we're both fucked. You know, and taking your body to those extremities and pushing yourself that hard, that's the fighter's greatest fear, is exhaustion. And it might not make complete sense in the context that we're talking about, but, you know, for Whittaker to only be fighting fucking killers in title fights for 5 rounds, and now he gets a 3-round fight, it's kind of like a bit of a holiday for him. He's going to come in a lot less scared, this is my opinion, and a lot less feared, because he knows he's only going for 3 rounds. He might push harder, he might up the tempo a bit, but he knows he's only going in there for 3.
Yeah, I think I just think he's gonna outpoint Jared Cannonier. I think it's gonna be a decision victory for Rob Whittaker. I think I know he's the kind of person to actually search for those big shots, but I just think it's gonna play to the point where he's just gonna outskill him in the striking area.
Has Cannonier been finished? Not at middleweight, but he did. I don't even think he got finished very often at heavyweight. He's only lost 2.
Let me check real quick. I'm pretty sure, because obviously, generally when you have people that are in heavyweight, they go down for a reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I'm sure
because they're getting finished.
It's just just in the point, like, people try and find.
That's what you're saying.
It's pretty much what I'm saying. Like, I'm not trying to be trying to be a dick, but like it's like at middleweight, when all the boys that were getting a loss at middleweight, they all tried to jump up to light heavyweight, and they didn't really have much success.
It's a fresh coat of paint.
Yeah,
it's exactly what Darren Till did. You know, Darren Till was on that losing streak at welterweight, and he went up to middleweight, and he got a fresh coat of paint. Edson Barboza's done it. Jose Aldo's done it. You know, and they both weren't doing too well in their particular weight class. They changed weight class, and boom, they're right back up in the mix with a fresh coat of paint.
So in 2015, he got KO'd by Sean Jordan. He lost to Glover by decision. He lost to Jan by decision, and he lost to Dominic Reyes by TKO.
Oh, Dominic Reyes TKO. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. I was trying to remember, because I know Dominic Reyes had some pretty some flashy TKOs, and I was like trying to remember.
Yeah.
Because he knocked out some big names, and Jared Cannonier was one of them. So.
And then he lost in 2020 by KO to Whittaker, huh? Yeah.
That's gonna happen. I don't think he's gonna KO him. I think he's gonna get outpointed. I think he's going to get outpointed.
Mm.
But yeah, look, we'll see what happens. Cannonier can land the shot, and this is one of those round one fucking paying underdogs. Oh, sorry. Wait, no. This is the crazy thing about this, because Jared Cannonier is the favorite in this fight.
Yeah.
Like,
which is odd.
What are we doing here? Like, what are we doing? It's very weird.
Which is odd.
It's even money. I don't understand why, like, these KOs are that.
Yeah,
like,
but Cannonier's an edged favorite, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, but after the Till fight, I think that should have put people on notice in a sense to see, like, that Robert Whittaker still had it, and he still had it back, and he had that one loss, and he's still championship caliber talent.
Yeah.
Sure. Maybe we're just biased. Maybe we just tune into maybe the American version of us are just fucking.
it's very hard. It's very hard predicting a Whittaker fight because, yeah, like you said, our hearts both are there for Whittaker, and I'm rooting for Whittaker, and I really don't want to sit here and fucking call this fight with you because I really just want Whittaker to win. But part of me thinks, you know, have you asked Kevin?
I've asked.
Shout out to Kevin Sheridan. Kevin Sheridan reckons he's going to get fed his teeth or whatever he said.
Fed his grits. He's going to get fed his grits.
And, you know, when Kevin said it, I thought about it. I'm like, look, it can happen. It can happen. I tend to agree with you. I think it could be a decision considering it's a 3-round fight. I just really want Whittaker to win.
Yeah,
I think Whittaker is the better fighter. I think he is.
He's definitely a better fighter. In my opinion, to me, it's like, yeah, Jared Cannonier has got some knockouts and he's shown some pretty awesome striking, but to me, it's like for Robert Whittaker to go in and just do that big standoff with Darren Till, who's one of the most legit strikers, you know, who pretty much beat Gastelum by decision as well. Like, this is MMA math here, but like, just theoretically, like, he went out, showed up Darren Till, and Darren Till, I definitely think, has the striking potential to, and the attributes to give Adesanya a good run as well. So, like, to me, I look at Whittaker as like right up there, and just losing that fight, you know.
Darren Till's got a lot of different tools. He's one of the most decorated strikers in the UFC. Period.
Yeah, you got to remember, like, for someone who's like that sort of, who's got that sort of rangy sort of style, for Whittaker to come in there and then go 5 rounds out striking him, that's insane. That's almost like it's almost like the Volkanovski sort of, the first time Volkanovski fought Max. Like, Volkanovski look at Volkanovski in there, and then look at Max. Like, how did Volkanovski do that? It's us Australians, we just do it different. I don't know what it is. We're just fucking game for a fight. So yeah. All right, let's go.
I'm gonna be with you again on that one. I think Whittaker gets it done.
I think Whittaker gets it done by decision. What's your official prediction? Calling it.
I think Whittaker gets a round 2 KO.
Yeah, well, I think we should leave it at 1 case bet per show. So we'll leave it at that because it's the same outcome.
Yeah, I'm tending to agree with you. I think we're agreeing on most fights in the main card on this one. The next one's going to be interesting. But I think Whittaker, points, maybe KO, but you're probably right on points.
All right, so we'll leave it at that. We've got a 28-0 Khabib Nurmagomedov from Dagestan fighting a 22-2. Fuck, I better not get that wrong.
Yeah.
22-2. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. 22-2 Justin Gaethje with new coach Trevor Whitman, coming off a win from beating Tony Ferguson, who most people said Tony Ferguson. Yep, 22-2. Look at this guy. Most people said Tony Ferguson would have given Khabib a good fucking run for his money, and most people would have picked Tony Ferguson to actually have the tools to beat Khabib. Now we have Justin Gaethje, who's in a very different, is it sort of a bit of a different skill set.
This is the thing, right? Is Gaethje? I don't want to sound offensive to Gaethje, say the wrong thing here, but Gaethje was not meant to win, you know, against Ferguson. That surprised the whole world, and I don't even think Gaethje thought he was going to beat Ferguson either. I think as the fight progressed, he got more confident.
What are you talking about? Dude, what do you mean he didn't think he's going to... He wouldn't be in there if he didn't think he's going to win.
He came out slow. It was something that surprised everyone. And
yeah,
I think at this point, you know, Gaethje was never meant to be there, but now Gaethje's seen as the guy that can do it with the wrestling and this and that, even though he doesn't use his wrestling.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's an easy sort of fight to break down, the X's and O's.
No, it's not an easy. It's a very hard fight. It's a very, very hard fight just because you look at Khabib's performances and you look at the people that he's versed, and then you look at the people that he's fought. You look at everything that's going into this fight, and then you look at Justin Gaethje, who is almost unrecognizable from those last two losses. From those last two losses onwards, he's almost unrecognizable as a fighter in a sense. He's so composed. It's like he's got the lightning and he's just put it in a bottle, and he's just really thought about his striking in a completely different way, complete striking overhaul, and just came out composed. And I think that's what shook Tony Ferguson a bit too. I think Tony Ferguson was in a place where he may have thought that Justin was going to be a bit more brawly and he might have been able to get a good counter shot, or he might have just been able to go into a brawl with him. But coming out composed,
I thought we're breaking down the Khabib and Gaethje
no,
fight.
we are, but I'm trying to get to the point. I'm trying to get to the point where, you know, that lightning in a bottle is unpredictable. A composed Gaethje is quite scary in a lot of ways, because I think a composed Gaethje is definitely going to be able to catch Khabib in a certain few amount of times. And it seems like with Gaethje actually being held back, like here, and throwing his shots and catching people in with the hook, they're way more powerful than the 30 punches he throws in like a random array. You know what I mean? So I think it's definitely Are you showering me with popcorn? What are you doing? What's that, popcorn?
Just having some nuts.
Oh, there you go. I can, is that Nobbies?
Mm-hmm.
Look at this. Shout out. You ever tried these?
They're fucking delicious, bro.
Why am I showing bacon bites when we're breaking down a Khabib fight? How fucking not halal is this? Jesus Christ. All right, anyway. A composed Gaethje is very scary for Khabib. However, this is my official prediction. I'm just going to lay it out there because there's so many things I could talk about this fight for fucking 30 minutes trying to figure out what's going to happen, but it's not going to happen. So here's what I think is the closest thing to happen.
And then I get to give my breakdown.
Yes, you do. Justin Gaethje will win a round in some people's eyes. He will win a round in this fight. I believe that will happen. Justin Gaethje will hurt Khabib, but if he actually gets to a point where he can finish Khabib, it's not going to be a straight KO finish. It's going to be a TKO, fucking slurry with a lot of punches after he's landed a good shot. Now, my opinion is, I think that the whole mystique with Khabib is that Khabib hasn't been in danger before, ridiculously in his career, and he hasn't had to use a lot of the tools that we've seen. He's had to use like the Khabib style, and just he's been able to steamroll everyone. So I think we might see something from Khabib that surprises us also. That's my opinion. Ultimately, if I had to choose a winner, I'm going to give Justin Gaethje 2 rounds with a bit of excitement, and I'm going to say Khabib's going to get it done by decision. That's my pick. Khabib by decision. The floor is yours.
You're right. No, 100%. Look, I've watched interviews now, like a lot of different interviews and breaking down the fights, and I came to the conclusion, in all honesty, look, Khabib always fights the same way. Yeah, we might see some interesting shit from Khabib, but he generally fights the same way. He's got his game plan every time, and it's move forward, back you up to the fence, and then start the takedown. He only ever starts the takedown once he's pushed up against the fence. That's his style of wrestling, and that's where he's the most effective. I don't think I've ever seen Khabib take someone down and shoot from the middle of the octagon. That's not his style. His style is move forward, push up against the fence, take you down. Justin Gaethje, I've watched an interview of him. He's aware of that. So thank God, Justin Gaethje. He knows that's they're the things to avoid. I think I watched an interview. It's like, what are you going to avoid? He's like, not get pushed up against the fence and get taken down. Yeah, and there's a lot of question about Justin Gaethje's wrestling, and I think Khabib's a better wrestler. He's Sambo. He's been using his wrestling in fights, whereas Justin Gaethje hasn't been using his wrestling in fights. But that in no means it means he's not a good defensive wrestler. He uses his wrestling defense in every fight, and he's damn good at it. And that shows he's never been taken down in his career. And I listened to some stat that he's only spent in his entire career 18 seconds on his back.
Yeah,
and I think that was technically from a knockdown. Not well, that's what we were joking about before. And I agree with you. I think after his stat from 18 seconds on his back after this fight is going to go up to 400 seconds on his back. I think he's going to spend about 70% of the fight on his back.
It'll be tripled.
Yeah,
easy. Maybe in the first round. Yeah, it'll be tripled.
That's about 50 seconds.
That's what I'm saying.
Just in the first round. Yeah,
it'll be tripled. There's the guarantee for triple.
And it's interesting to watch wrestlers because, he's not a grappler as such. He's not grappling heavy. He's only really fought jiu-jitsu guys and strikers. So when he does get taken down, he's going to do what a wrestler would do, which would give you, you're told not to give up your back. He's probably gonna give up his back. He'll do what a wrestler does, an all-American wrestler. He'll turn, he'll get on his knees, he'll shift his hips, and he'll stand up.
Yeah,
and that's how he'll get up from Khabib. And Khabib's never faced anyone that's going to get up like that. Khabib's really good at holding people down. But I was watching another interview. I was watching an interview on Khabib, and they said to Khabib, "What's his game plan?" And he was pretty much like, "Shoot, and if it doesn't work, I shoot again, and I keep shooting until I get him down and I smash this guy." Just the same thing I do with every other fight. Then I watched an interview on Gaethje, and Gaethje said, "I need to land 4 leg kicks," and everyone's like, 4 leg kicks. And you know what? I listened to it, and I tend to agree with Gaethje. If Gaethje can land 4 leg kicks, sorry, that was my battery. Hang on, did I go?
Yeah.
If I can, and he said, if I can land 4 leg kicks in the right place, and I tend to agree with him, it's going to change the whole dynamic of the fight. Because Khabib moves forward. This is what he does. He moves forward. He doesn't move backwards, and he doesn't know how to stand still. He only moves forward. So he moves forward. Justin Gaethje can get these leg kicks in, which honestly, I probably agree with you. He probably is not going to be able to do. But if he does, it's gonna stop a lot of that forward momentum, and Khabib's gonna really struggle to get in. It's going to change the dynamic of the fight. And I mean, I don't see Khabib switching stances. I don't think that's an option for Khabib. But if his front leg is chewed up, it's going to slow down the pace. And the one thing that Khabib has that everyone is shocked of when they fight Khabib is the crazy pace that Khabib brings. He brings this pace. There's only been a few other people that have done it, like GSP. It's this crazy pace that Khabib brings. If Justin Gaethje can slow it down, it will change the fight. No doubt, I agree with Gaethje. Whether he can or not is a different question. No one's been able to. Everyone's come in with different game plans with Khabib, and no one's succeeded to date. And it's probably gonna end up in just Justin Gaethje spending a lot of time on his back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to me, that's why I sort of said I believe it's easy to break down. It's going to go one of 2 ways. It's going to go like the rest of Khabib's fights have gone: push him up, get the takedown, maul him for half a round, reset. Maybe Gaethje might get some exciting rounds in the striking, but the outcome's going to be the same towards the end of the round. Gets taken down, fucking beaten up. Unless Gaethje can slow Khabib down by getting these leg kicks in, slow him down. Then it just changes everything. Khabib might stop shooting. you know, and it might end up like the Alaquina fight, might end up being a striking match, and then Justin Gaethje could get this crazy KO. One thing about Gaethje is he doesn't wilter.
Yeah.
He doesn't wilter, and that's
I
showed
know.
his whole career. His only 2 losses have been KOs by fucking Eddie Alvarez by a knee, that pretty much sent his face to another planet. So he had no choice but to wilter.
I know.
And then Dustin Poirier did the same similar thing. Justin Gaethje is a beast. He's not going to wilter.
No, well,
So
here's
this
my
is
thing.
what's going to...
Thank fuck he lost.
Yeah.
Thank fuck he lost.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is the guy that could beat Khabib. The other dude, I don't think he would have beaten Khabib. Like, you know what I mean? That's just how I feel about it. That's what I'm
Yeah, no. Yeah. The more that it leads up to it, I think I'm more excited for listening to what Justin Gaethje in interviews. I think I'm more excited for this fight than the Ferguson fight in certain ways. You know, I've always wanted to see that matchup, and I always used to say to you that I thought Tony was the guy that could do it. But certain parts of me think that Gaethje can do anyone. Anyone can be beat. Anyone can be beat. Khabib can be beat. There's a kryptonite.
Sure.
And this is the exciting part of the thing about this sport is if Gaethje's right, he can change this fight if he does certain and sticks to a certain game plan. It's just, can he do it? Because no one's been able to do it yet.
You need to have someone with that power that Gaethje has, and then you also need to have someone with the speed that he has as well. And I think he's got those two like attributes in a way. He's combined them in this new evolution of Justin Gaethje, which is sort of so scary as a counter striker and as someone, if someone is prepared to try and take that option, that's what Khabib's going to be doing to push him up against the fence. I think if he can land those few leg kicks before that, that's exactly right. And like this, the coach he has now, this coach. Every coach, especially a high-level coach, especially someone like Trevor Whitman, have been fantasizing in their head of a game plan to beat Khabib.
Yeah.
Or to beat
Chandler's
John Jones.
got one. Everyone's got one, yeah.
Everyone's got one. Chandler's just... Have you just seen Chandler on the Embeddeds? He's just like running around in a car park waiting to be quarantined. He's like, I'm just waiting for my moment. I'm going to be there. Just hoping for the best. Like, he's flying to the Middle East just to... Well, I would do it too, to get that shot.
The powerful thing about this is basically, you know, reinforcing the fact Khabib can be beat. You know, we're all human. He can be beaten. He's only ever lost that one round to Conor in his career, and at the moment, to us as an audience, he perceives himself as this guy that is just unstoppable. He can't be beat. You're going to get taken down. You're going to get mauled. But there's a way to do it. And the strong thing about Justin Gaethje is I could tell in his voice when I was watching this interview, you could tell that he believes that's what he needs to do, and he believes that he can do it. Yeah. And I think that's the mentality that any fighter needs to have when they're fighting someone like Khabib.
Yeah.
And Khabib doesn't ever, he doesn't get those matches often. Because I think everyone sort of steps in the cage with Khabib, and it's the same with this Khamzat Chimaev now, is they just fucking think that they're doomed.
I know, I know, they literally do. I think that's the mystique around Khabib is because of that record. People get shocked when they're in there, and when it's happening to them, they're like, holy shit. That's the thing is like, is Justin Gaethje just going to suffer from a different kind of power? Him being in that situation, is the issue going to be that if he's in that situation, he's on his back, he's only been there for 18 seconds. So is the issue going to be that he's never been there? And he's like, what the fuck? In a cage? You know what I mean? That could be another thing as well. That could play to his disadvantage. So
it's very interesting because, you know, he trains with like Usman.
Yeah.
You just have to assume that he gets taken down. You have to assume in training with someone like Usman, who's heavier and stronger, that he gets taken down.
Yeah.
But I don't know how Khabib's going to go holding him there because it's a completely different style of fighter.
What do you do if you're Usman, man? Like Usman's management team is with Khabib, but you're training with Justin Gaethje. You know what I mean? Training's always better than management, I guess.
But I could almost bet, and I'd put a case on this, that Justin, we all know he's going to get taken down.
Yeah.
At some point, he's getting taken down. That's inevitable. He'll land the leg kicks. I think he's going to get back up straight away after he gets taken down, and then continue to maybe do these leg kicks. But he's getting taken down. Like he's getting taken down in the first round. Yeah. What I'm excited to see is how he gets back up.
Yeah.
I think he'll turn. I think he'll give up his back. I think he'll do it straight away, and that's normal in wrestling. Jiu-jitsu guys will tell you never do that, but I think he'll give his back up and he'll just stand up.
Yeah.
He'll get on all fours on his knees and he'll stand up.
All right, so
it'll be interesting to see.
So we've got. So your idea was Gaethje stops the forward pressure, and then you've also got fucking Khabib. Khabib taking him down and just making it the same as every other fight. What we need now is an official Peter Walsh prediction for this fight. An official clear-cut one, not two. One. Here we go. Shoot it. Let's go.
My fight breakdown. Round one. Gaethje lands a couple of leg kicks, maybe one, possibly one, gets taken down. I think he gets back up straight away. I think they continue to trade for a bit. I think he gets taken down again. I think he gets up again. And then I think he might land a second leg kick in that round. And then I think it goes into the second round. I don't think it's going to... My prediction is not going to go the distance. I think... Oh, gosh. You know what? I'm going to go with Gaethje.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go with Gaethje. I'm gonna go with Gaethje on this one. I would never put a case on this, but I'm gonna go with Gaethje.
That's right. We've got a case on a prelim fight.
And this whole week, and my money's probably gonna be on Khabib. But I am most certainly putting a bet in for round 3, KO by Gaethje.
Yeah, I always thought, because I didn't actually say this, if Justin Gaethje finishes him, my mind, it's round 4 TKO, or round 3 in that ballpark. I think a lot of people are feeling that the same way. It's going to take a good, with the takedown pressure and everything else, can take a good 2 or 3 rounds for Justin to get it done.
Yeah,
he does. But at $3.35, that's it's not a bad bet.
What's the round 3 KO paying?
Oh, man. Let me just put the rest of my account on it now.
I got to do my prediction. $15.
Yeah, okay. Let's go. Method round combo, TK round 3 for Gaethje. $21.
I'll put $10 on it.
Do it. Fucking do it. Send it. In the glorious words of John Hutchins, send it. Justin Gaethje KO TKO is paying $11, and Khabib KO TKO in round 1 is paying $19. So that's an interesting one as well when you think about it. Because
the odds makers have really got this fight to go the distance, don't they?
I would say so. Khabib, no. Okay, that's interesting. So the most favorable outcome is Khabib by submission, 288, which makes sense. Yeah.
He has subbed his last 2 or 3 opponents.
Yeah.
He subbed Poirier,
and
he subbed Conor, and then I think he subbed the one before, who was someone who was before.
Yeah, Poirier, Conor, and no, the one before that was Al, I think. Al went the distance. Al wasn't before. Jeez, look at this.
He fought someone after Al. I'm positive.
This is what happens when you do a podcast at fucking 2 a.m. Go Medov. Fucking get his Sherdog up.
Shout out to Sherdog.
Shout out to Sherdog.
If you need anything, Sherdog.coms.
They're the best, man. Okay, so now Al was before that.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Justin, Conor, Al.
Right, sorry for wasting everyone's time.
Barbosa. You know what's good about this though? This isn't in that same building as the fucking, you know, that Abu Dhabi building, the first one they did, where it was like 100 degrees when Poirier came out and fucking
Oh,
Khabib
yeah.
came out. Like,
Yeah.
that kind of makes a difference, a little bit of a difference at least. I mean, who's to know how that played into the fight? But
And Joe Rogan texted Dominic Cruz. He's like, "What's the weather like?" And Dominic Cruz is like, "It's fucking hot." I watched that on a Joe Rogan podcast. Joe Rogan was doing a podcast, and he was live doing a podcast because he does a podcast and they watch the fights.
Yeah.
And then Dominic Cruz was at the table commentating, and he messaged Dominic Cruz.
Yes,
and Dominic Cruz
the fight
Dominic Cruz fucking replied during the fight, going fucking hot.
Speaking of podcasts, so there's like you know the Schmo, he's very popular.
Of course.
He has his podcast now and has gone super successful. But anyway, he did an interview last fight.
Actually, I think I've seen it, and he's got like the Asian wife.
Yeah, Helen Yee.
Yeah.
But she's a reporter for I'm not sure. Anyway, he did an interview with Brian Ortega, and Brian, like, this is right before he cut off his hair, so while he was cutting weight, and it was very, very perplexing, and it was strange, man. Like, so Ortega's like sitting there and they're interviewing. He's interviewing him, and Schmo's just doing his like regular shtick. He's like, I'm the Schmo with the pro, or the shit like that, all that stuff. Anyway, fucking dude, if I got into journalism, fucking 5 years ago, I would try and do something like the Schmo. I'm fucking I'm jealous of him. I literally admire that man. He's incredible. Anyway, point is,
that's what you need a gig. You need a whole persona. You need a gig. You know,
realize that, but
that's what he does.
But he was doing that gig, and Brian Ortega is just like looking at him, like he's just looking over at him, and he's like trying to get him to stare him in the eye. He's like, look at me in the eyes and shit. Like, and he's like, he's putting his arm around his neck the whole interview, like he's like clenching his arm up, like he's sort of sizing him up to fight him.
Yeah,
it was real weird, eh? And Schmo's like, I know what you're doing. You're sizing me up. Like he's like, anyway, here's your coach. And like Schmo wasn't backing down. And then the coach came over, and the coach is like making fun of Schmo for what he's wearing. You got to see this, man. It's like a 4-minute interview.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. And then like Schmo's talking about basketball, and then he said, who do you think's better, LeBron James or Kobe Bryant? And he's like, Kobe Bryant. And he's like, and Schmo's like, Kobe Bryant's the second best player after Michael Jordan. And then, because Brian Ortega's like a hood LA guy, he's like sitting there, and he's like got his arm over him. He's like, you said that in LA, you'll be dead. And then he told him he's going to rob him for his bracelet on the interview. Pretty much, it was real weird. It was real weird, man. You got to see this.
Yeah. Send the link up. Send the link up after this.
I will. I'll send it up. Anyway, we'll wrap on that one. But my opinions on Brian Ortega have changed after this. I don't know what to feel.
Yeah, he's pretty gangster. Eh? He's a bit of a hood rat.
He's a bit of a hood rat. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. We appreciate it so much. Thank you for being here, Peter. Giving you a breakdown and predictions. We're going to be doing a lot more. Give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. Fucking elbow that like and fucking 12 to 6 elbow that like and subscribe button. And we're also going to be starting up some Patreon soon for some bonus content. So that should be a lot of fun. But thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Long one, good one. A bit of a delirious one at 3 a.m. But yeah, thank you so much. We're out.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Love you, brother.
Love you.